So I don't know about you, but sometimes when I have to get on Instagram or my social media, it's actually more so Instagram than anything else, because I don't think I spend as much time on Facebook or Twitter, or X rather. That's an old school name. I'm still calling it Twitter. Um, so I don't know about you, but a lot of times I get this feeling of almost overwhelm and dread when I come to my social media, or at least my Instagram, because I know there's a shitload of messages in my DMs that I have not gotten back to yet. Um, and I think about, when I look on the feed, and there's just so much, there's so much negativity in the world. There's so much, and again, look, it's current events, right? It's news. A lot of us keep up with the news through our social media, seeing other people post important, monumental happenings. But I just find that with social media, I kind of get this feeling a lot, because there's so much of it is just drenched in negativity. And I saw Leslie Odom Jr. speak a couple weeks ago, and he said something really interesting, that the social media algorithms are not yet designed to make us feel good. I love that he said yet. But the algorithms are designed for us to see something and get all up in our feelings and want to text back or want to post and respond. And social media is a huge time suck. And mind you, as they're sucking your time and taking up your energy and attention, notice they're also selling you shit too. Whether you're browsing the internet on your computer or scrolling through your timeline, there's always an ad somewhere. And the algorithms are such that a lot of the times those ads are interesting to you. Well, of course they are, because they're designed to come your way. But anyway, this made me think about how social media, though there's so much cool stuff with it and good use of it, it's still permeated with this feeling of low vibration. I don't compare myself to others, but I think like some of you get on social media and then start to not feel good about yourself, because you start to feel like you're inadequate or not doing enough or whatever. But anyway, so for me, taking some time away from social media is a necessity and a form of self-care. And as we talk about self-care and self-love, that's one of the ways that I have to be mindful about caring for myself. Eating right, cutting back on drinking, getting proper sleep, taking care of myself. Those are just a few examples, maybe not the best examples. Well, they're important examples, but that's not the exhaustive list. But just even those things, for me, fall under the umbrella of self-care. And if I know being on social media makes me feel a certain way, then I know I need to spend greater amounts of time off of social media. So I'm not just scrolling and posting and reposting content. So I'll just put that out there because I'm curious as to what forms of self-care do you take for yourself. Leave a comment. I'll get back on the check. But I'm just curious. I'm curious how people view self-care. And I think outside of the obvious, like all the obvious ones I came up with, eating right, working out, meditation, prayer, those are all important things. Just wondering what other things some of you might choose as a path of self-care. I'm asking for a friend, but I'm also asking for myself, because I'm always looking for new things to try out. I guess, especially when it comes to self-love. All right, I love you. I'm out. Deuces. Leave me a comment. All right.
TMZ is reporting that Malcolm Jamal Warner has passed away. Now, according to TMZ, they stated that he passed away from an accidental drowning. Now, Malcolm Jamal Warner is only 54, but TMZ goes on to clarify that these are unconfirmed but reliable sources that stated that he had died from an accidental drowning. And while the story is developing, again, we don't know what kind of accidental drowning, whether it was like on vacation or if it was at home. And being that Malcolm Jamal Warner did not post regularly on social media, his last post being on Instagram February 9th, it's hard to tell because, again, he seems like a private individual. And again, Malcolm Jamal Warner kept a pretty low profile private life, even though he was a celebrity. Yahoo News goes on to state that Malcolm Jamal Warner is survived by his wife and his daughter, who he had in around 2017. And because his life was so private, he has shared images of his wife and daughter, but he's never disclosed what their names are. And him keeping their identities private was his attempt to be able to have some normalcy in his life. It also goes on to state that they don't believe that his wife does have a social media account, and if she does, it is probably private. And while we're waiting for more information to be confirmed about his passing, please keep his daughter and his wife in your prayers, albeit we don't know who they are. They would still need those from all of his supporters.